Okay, we are trying this again. Got it. Oh, I hope everybody makes it over here. Story of my life. Why this doesn't work when I do it. Hi, Nicole. You found me. I don't know what it is that I do wrong. Hi, Missy. Hello again. I have no idea what it is that I do wrong every time I schedule a live. And in my software, I click on the live and it tells me, okay, you have X amount of minutes till you're live. And I hit go live. And you guys, I can see your chat, but I can see that nobody's here. I don't know what it is I do wrong. Oh my goodness. So now we got some people here. Awesome. Hi, Heather. Now we have some people here. That's awesomely wonderful. How are you guys this morning? Yes, Joyce, I am well. I am well. Oh no, me and live streams are not friends. They don't like me so much. Coco, hello. Oh my goodness. No, they don't like me. I should just... Hi, Julie. Or Julia, sorry. And Jen, hello. Ghislaine, hello. Hi, Vicky. That's technology. Yeah. This... You know what? This old lady is pretty technically savvy. However, it seems to get the better of me every now and again. I don't know what it is. I just don't know. So let me bring my stitching back over here. So what's everybody? Hi, Silja. How are you this morning? And Terry. Oh my goodness, we got lots of people here today. That is totally awesome. Thank you all for stopping by. I thought we'd just stitch a while and chat and see how the day goes. It's Saturday, so I don't know about you guys. I got all the time in the world. I got my coffee. You're too scared to do a live stream, Coco. Oh, come on. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Seriously. You just need the streaming software to do it, and you know what? You just jump right in. That's what I did. Jumped right in and hoped for the best, and look where it got me. Yeah. Okay. All right. Is my sound... Well, hello, Carol Harris. Is my sound okay today? I don't know what was the matter yesterday. No one else said that they had trouble hearing me yesterday, or not yesterday. Whatever day that was that I did that last video. Oh, Jen, you're at a stitching retreat. Awesome. Have a great time. I'm going to one, not this, well, we're in a weekend now, so not this coming weekend, but the weekend of Mother's Day. Oh, I'm so excited. It's at Salty Yarns in Ocean City, Maryland. So it's just sit and stitch and chat with friends and do all that fun stuff. Oh, Missy, you're in your chair and not knitting socks. Good for you. Do you know what? I knit several pair of socks, but for some reason, I just don't, I just don't like the way they turn out. I must be either knitting too loose or something not right. Missy, Jen, you're in your element. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to be in mine in 2 weeks. Oh, good. My sound is loud and clear. Thank you, Elaine. I don't know. I don't know why some people had. I just don't know. I just don't know. I only had Carol tell me that there was a problem with the sound on the last one, so I'm not sure if I didn't have my microphone close enough or what the world was going on. I have no idea. So thank you for letting me know that it's okay today. So that is absolutely wonderful. My light's a little bright, but as we all know, lazy morning and still in bed. Oh, hi, Ellie. Greetings from Australia. Oh, what time? It's pretty early there. Is it still? It's either late at night or in the middle of the night there, isn't it? I can't remember the time differences to Australia. I know it's way different. I know it's way different than here. So, well, I'm gonna um, put my screen to some stitching, and let's see. Angel, you're in Singapore. Oh my goodness, all over the world. This is so, I love this. I just truly love this. So today I'm going to be stitching on Fractal that I will put up here in the corner. 10 p.m. in Singapore. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Isn't it just amazing how from all over the world, this goes. It's just, well, good morning, Nan. It's the first time here. Well, welcome. So glad that you're joining me today. Okay, and now I'm going to, oh, it's still afternoon in, oh, Austria. Oh, not Ellie, you're Austria, not Australia. Oh, geez, see these. Thanks for stopping by, Jen. Have a great time. Have a great time. Okay, I am going to switch the camera to this, and I'm going to stick me up in the corner. Hi, Rose. Teresa, did you get my message? I'm glad you stopped by. Deep breath, my dear. Deep breath. Relax. It'll be fine. So today I'm stitching on Fractal, and if you remember my video, this is the one. Hi, Martina. This is the one that Operative is supposed to be stitching. Well, see, I am stitching with some friends of mine, 2 of which are going to be at the retreat I go to in 2 weeks. And they are both very, very far ahead of me because I have been extremely negligent in working on this piece. So I decided to pull it out for a bit before I go to the retreat so that I can at least look like I'm catching up or attempting to catch up with them. The other reason is I am where it is lots of black. So it's easy stitching to stitch and chat with you guys because it's a lot of black stitching. In fact, this whole diagonal, except for about 5 stitches when I got down to the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, pardon me, 6 stitches. And they are in the illustrious color that does not stand out with black, 939. So I would think we'll talk about this a little bit. Some of you have stopped by to see what the heck is going on. Well, first of all, a couple things. First of all, thank you all so very much for the comments on my tour of my samplers of my living. Oh well, not just my living room, but basically my whole house. You guys had so many wonderful, nice things to say, and you don't know how appreciative I am of that. It made my day to get so many lovely comments from all of you guys. And while I'm speaking about that, Liz, Deb, I don't know if you're watching. Liz and Deb are the country stitchers, who, by the way, really don't live that far from me. They're just in the next county away, which is Lancaster County. And they don't live far from the city of Lancaster. And I am in one county north of them in Lebanon County. So I would say driving time, we're about maybe, I'm going to say it takes me about 40 minutes to get, well, 30 to 40 minutes to get to my daughter's house, which is in Lidditz, which isn't too far from their needlework shop of Stitches Unlimited. So I'm going to say at best, at the very best, they're an hour away, and it's probably not quite that far. But anyway, we had a wonderful stitching day. I gave them a tour, a live tour of all the stuff hanging in my house, and we sat and stitched together, and we had lunch, and then we sat and stitched some more and just stitched and chatted, and it was just a wonderful time. And Liz and Deb mentioned me on their YouTube video. So thank you, Liz and Deb, for doing that. It was, wow, I had quite a few more views. It was wonderful. It was just wonderful. And I really appreciate that. So thank you so very much. I hope all of you enjoyed that video. And I was negligent. I have to tell you, I was a little negligent, because what I forgot to include in that was my quilt that has all the samplers on. And if you watched Liz and Deb's day treat, hi Senja, welcome. If you watched Liz and Deb's Country Stitchers day treat that they had not too terribly long ago, you can see that quilt because I took it for show and tell. So there are pictures of it in their video, but I neglected to include it in mine. What was I thinking? Oh, wait, I wasn't thinking. And the other thing I did not include in mine, and I will do a separate video on that, is all my heart hanger pieces. I got to put them in. Well, hello, Elaine. You were watching Liz and Deb that sent you across this. Oh, and that's how come you're here today. Well, thank you. Thank you so, so much. I had many people, many people um, stop by because Liz and Deb sent them my way. Oh, yeah, Rose. I know. But you know what? Well, it doesn't feel like it's that long, but all the sampler, all the things that you saw. Well, hello, Stitchbug back. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here today. Um, all the things that you saw stitched, with the exception of the pieces in my kitchen, which are the ones by Barbara and Cheryl, which is Queen Street Alley, South Battery View, Sunday Morning, Church Street, and for the life of me, I can't remember the name of the fifth one. All of those were done in the 80s, 1980s. However, everything else, everything else. So the pictures here in my stitching room, my sun porch, the pictures in my living room and that middle room were all stitched since 2005. So, you know what? It seems like yesterday. It seems like that was just yesterday, but wow. 2005, 2015. Yeah, it's going on 20 years ago. Wow. It doesn't seem. It does not seem like it's been that long. So 2015 was 10 years, and we're at 2022. Mm-hmm. But they were all stitched since then. Hi, Stitchy Dutchy. Thank you for stopping by. I am doing great today. Now, we also have to remember that between that time of 2005, 5 of those years were spent doing only Stitcher's Retreat. And I really didn't work on much of anything else while I was stitching that. So when you think about all the samplers that are done, wowzers, how did I get all? I don't know how I got all of those stitched and worked full time. Let's see, I retire. When did I retire? When did I retire? Probably this year. It's holy smokes. When did I retire? Well, hello, Jennifer. I'm going to say it's just about 10 years ago that I retired. But a lot of those pieces were done pre-retirement because 5 years since retirement were spent on Stitcher's Retreat. So, wow. Wow. Ah, Dana, Toronto. Heard about you from Liz and Deb as well. How long have I been stitching? I have been stitching since I am 21 years old. 1972. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, a long, 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 long time. Previous to everything that you see hanging here, a lot of the stitching I did, I gave away as gifts, and yeah, I didn't always stitch for myself. And I didn't always stitch as much. Coco, you found me from Kaylee. Oh, she's a sweetheart. She's a sweetheart. I didn't always stitch as much back then. as I do now or as I did after 2005. I also spent quite a few years, about 10 of those years. Yes, 1972 stitch bug. Yup. That was the year I graduated from nursing school. And I started stitching via a friend on my first job when I worked in a state hospital as a psychiatric nurse. And she introduced me, and it did become my favorite thing to do. Although I did spend about 10 years doing hardhanger, nothing but hardhanger, and a lot of those pieces I gave away or stitched commission pieces for people. And then I kind of got the itch back to come. I mean, I've always been stitching something. Let's just put it that way. But then I got the itch to come back to just counted cross stitch, and since then that's all I do. For the most part, it's all I do, and I spend Marzipan, you've been stitching for 30 years and only have five pieces on your wall. Did you give them away? Or did you just not stitch that many? Linda, am I doing 24 hours this weekend? Oh, 24 hours on a live? Oh, I don't think so. I don't know that I could find enough to talk about to do 24 hours on a live. Wow, that's before you were born. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Yes, I do have a clip-on magnifier on today. Let's see if I can show it to you. Dun, dun, dun. There you go. There we go. Oh wait. What did I do here? Did I mess up my there we go. No, I messed it up again. Oh, one of these days. There we go. I'm a little crooked here now, but I think you guys can live with it. There we go. Oh, cameras. They are the fussiest things. No, you didn't mess me up. Ah. Birth samplers and geishas for your father. Oh, that's nice. Okay, let me go back here. Oh, Stitchbug, that's before you were born. Oh my goodness. Yes, what I was going to say is probably some of you don't realize I'm a little older than you probably think I am. Some of you already know. I will be 71 in July. So you could probably figure that out since I graduated at 21 years old from nursing school in 1972. You got this. Karen heard of my birth and said, "Oh my God, I'm going to stitch." Oh my God, you guys are a riot. You did lots of birth samplers and giant geisha for your father. Yeah. I should put pictures up, or include in my hardanger video, which I will do, the birth samplers I did for my grandkids. They are pieces that were already charted, but I adapted them to be birth samplers. You might have seen them. Oh, Linda, the 24-hour. Okay. You know what? I normally stitch all the time, so that's really not much of a challenge for me, which is probably why I got myself in the pickle that I'm in the first place. Age is just a number. Yes, it is. Debbie, you'll be 70 in July. Okay, Debbie, let's see how close we are. July what? What date in July were you born? See if you're the same age as I, or the same day as me. My magnifier, I don't know. It's just a clip-on one that I got on Amazon. July 23rd. Okay, then I'm a little older. Everybody makes fun, and you guys can too, because my birthday is the 4th of July. So I tell everybody I came in with a bang, and I'll go out like a bump on a log. Oh. Yeah. I get, everybody teases because I was born on the 4th of July. And it's all in good fun. But you know what? It's kind of like being born on Christmas. Your birthday gets lumped in with the holiday, and people kind of forget that it's your birthday because they're too busy thinking about the holiday. And of course, being a summer holiday, all my friends probably were going away for the holiday weekend with their families, and it was rather difficult to have a birthday party. So I never, well, probably my parents would not have done that anyway, but it was never an opportune time to have a birthday party as a kid. So yeah. So you kind of get absorbed in with the holiday. But you know what? It's okay, especially now. It's really okay because I just as soon forget that it's my birthday. Just as soon pass it right by. But that's okay. Mirren, you'll be 64 in July. Yeah, see, we're all getting up there. Oh, Vicky, you're July 6th. I want a cake all to myself. Yeah, that's what we did. We had, my parents had a certain. Oh, sorry about that. Um, they had a certain campground that we always used to go to, uh, and we went there over 4th of July weekend. So what we did is we had a cake. Didn't get it all to myself though. And we made homemade ice cream. So we had homemade ice cream and cake, and that was my birthday at the campground. Most years we went there for quite a few years, I remember as a kid. I think. Stitchbug, tomorrow's your birthday. Well, happy birthday. We are all babies. You're 75, Joyce. Yes, we are all babies. And you know what? Age is just a number. You're only as old as you feel. Well, sometimes I feel pretty old, but most days it's pretty good. It's pretty good. But back to my magnifier. I bought it. It's just a clip-on one. I think I got it off of Amazon. And so far, so good. Even with the magnet. See, I think not only, which is probably why a lot of people stopped in today, is to find out just exactly what the problem is. What was happening is, I think it's not only an issue of the finer count fabric, it's as much an issue of the number of hours I stitch, which is, yeah, pretty many. So, oh, Linda, I'm working on Fractal. It's the picture that you see up in the corner. It's a heaven and earth design. So what was happening was, even with this magnifier that I have today, or with my mag eyes, or with those other contraptions that I think I showed before that had magnifiers that you can change the okay, what's the word I want? You can change the strength by putting different lenses in it. What was happening is, even though I was using my eye drops, which are just natural tears, but I tend to have dry eyes, and even though I was looking up and looking away every so often, even with all the magnification and on those finer counts, what was happening is, when I would look up and look away, or, even sitting here, for example, now it's not happening now because I'm on a bigger fabric, but I would look at my computer screen or I'd look at the TV, and the picture was okay, but any words were just a blurry mess that I couldn't see. I could see them, but I could see them as a, well, good morning, Lee. I could see them as a blurry mess and couldn't really read what it said. So even Teresa, hello. So even as much as a year ago, when I went to the eye doctor, I explained to her what was happening, and we thought we had a lot of it corrected. And since I had cataracts removed several years ago, she thought maybe I was developing what they call a secondary cataract, and that was causing the blurry vision. So I went to the ophthalmologist that did my cataract surgery, and he checked me out and said, oh, things are fine. Just keep, doing what you're doing. And, you should be fine. So this is not necessarily something new. This has been going on. And I have tried different magnification with like the 36 count and the 25 count, and that was happening more and more, even though I was doing those things that I was supposed to be doing. So I finally made the decision of, let's just stick with 22 count and 20 count, and you know what, and even if I go to 18 or 16 or whatever, or 32 over 2 or whatever, I'm fine with that. Sandra, no, this is 20 count Ada, and it's over 1. Although I will do 22 count Ada, or no, 22 count is not Ada cloth. 22 count is Hardanger cloth. Ada cloth does not come in 22 count, even though many places that sell it call it Ada, but actually, okay, here's my little soapbox. Sorry, guys. Actually, 22 count is sort of, the best way to explain it is a transition between an even weave, like a 25 count, and an Ada cloth. An even weave is a mono weave fabric. Okay, so it is a fabric that has one thread that goes horizontally, one thread that goes vertically, that makes up the weave of your fabric. Whereas Hardanger cloth, that weave is made up of, okay, I'll switch cameras here. That weave is made up of 2 threads of fabric and 2 threads of fabric that make up the weave, the over-under weave of your fabric. Where a mono weave, your Lugana, is 1. Okay, so that's the difference. So your even weaves are 1. Hardanger fabric, which is, I call it, only my term, I don't know if there's a term for it, I call it a transition fabric between an even weave and an Ada cloth. An Ada cloth has multiple threads going vertically, multiple threads horizontally that make up that square that you see. And that's what, see if I can get you. Okay, let's use my magnifier and see if I can switch you back. Oh, I love this switching cameras business. See if I can get you in here close enough. Okay, can you see that? Can you see how there are multiple threads? So this is, here we go, multiple threads here and multiple threads this way that make up your X's. Now, if you look really, really, really close, and I don't know that I can get it much closer than this, it's actually 4 threads in this group and 4 threads in this group that make up this fabric. So that, say you're going to do a pin stitch, when you do that pin stitch, you can see, and you might not be able to see this because I don't know if I can get close enough. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, there. Can you see that when you split it, it's 2 threads of fabric on each side of my needle? Really hard to see. You never knew this makes it so much easier when looking at the counts. Yes, it is. I mean, it helps to explain a little bit more of, let me go back up here. Let me go back. One of these days. Okay, we gotta go this way a little bit. There we go. It won't be straight, but that's, it helps you to understand the differences in fabric. Hardhanger fabric would be less likely to have threads slip behind. Actually, no. You still have the same issue as you have with even weave, because on Aida cloth, because of that weave, there is no place for them to slip behind. On hardhanger and even weave, there is nothing to prevent that. So you can get just as much slippage on 22 count as you do on 25 count. So what it means is to, let me split my screen here. Let's try this. Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. I want to do this. Yeah. What it means is, where was I going? Hold on. Hold on a second. 22 count doesn't have anything that locks that stitch or locks that thread so that it doesn't slip underneath. So you stitch on hardhanger fabric the same way as you would stitch on a 22 count fabric if you want to prevent the slippage. I can include in the drop down box to this video, a link, and if I remember right, it's on the Hirschner's website, that shows you how to stitch on even weave. And the easiest way to explain it is the intersection of threads that you're crossing. So this being the intersection of threads, and you come up in the bottom left. You go down in the bottom right. To prevent it from slipping, and I'm going to use this finger as the example, to prevent it from slipping, whatever direction your top thread is the direction your thread needs to travel on the back. So if I come up in the bottom left and go down in the top right, I would follow this and come up in the bottom right and go down in the top left. If my top thread is this way, then I would go across. My thread on the back would travel from here to here, and I would end up, so I would go in the top right, I would come up in the top left and go down in the bottom right. So what you're doing is you're following the fabric threads. You're going the direction of the top thread of your intersection. And what that does is your thread can't slip then, because it's caught. The weave of the fabric prevents it from moving, from going underneath the fabric and slipping away that you can't see it. The other thing you can do, and the way I liked to do it, is to do a continental stitch. Like I would come up in the bottom left to top right. Then I would long stitch across the back to the next one, bottom left, top right. Work across the whole row doing just one leg that way. And then when I come back, I would just go be top left, top right, bottom right, top right, bottom right, top right, bottom right, and cross them. And that also doesn't allow your thread to slip underneath your fabric. So there are ways. I will put the link to Hirschner's, and I think that's where the explanation is of those two techniques to prevent that from happening. No, Linda, railroading is when you are stitching with 2 strands of floss and you come up through your fabric. You're going to go down through your fabric, but what you're going to do is put your needle through the 2 strands of floss before you go down so that your thread lays side by side. That's railroading. No, doing one leg at a time is just doing one leg at a time. Okay, I'm missing some comments here, so let me go back. Let me go back and check out. Okay. Okay, we answered that one. Slipping is the same as even weave. Right, Coco, that's absolutely right. Do I like the coverage I get with over 1 on 20 count? Yes, I do. Probably when you're really up really close to it, you can see white through it. But truthfully, I am okay with that because you're not going to look at this piece with your nose right up against it like I am when I'm stitching. You're going to look at it from a distance and you are not going to see that white. So I am perfectly fine with it. I will do it if there comes a time that I have to, but I'm not one who enjoys stitching with 2 strands of floss. I like 1 strand. So that's the other reason I am perfectly fine with this, because I like 1 strand. So yes, I am happy with the coverage. You think the stitches, Stitchy Dutchy, you think the holes are very small on Ada. Stitches lay flatter, but I don't find 20 count Ada any easier on the eyes than 25 Lucana. Yes, I still need my magnifier, but what I'm finding is my eyes don't get as tired as fast. And I can look up and away and words aren't blurred. So for me, that's a plus. That's a plus. What's my opinion on linen? Oh, I like linen. 40 count linen was my go-to. Operative being was. I'm trying to think what I would do now. I may use 32 count linen. I may. I have to think about that. And the only reason that would put me off is the fact that I would have to use 2 strands of floss. So that's kind of the reason why I've gone with Ada cloth especially for heaven and earth designs. Honestly, why? Just my thought, nobody else's, just me. Why waste a good piece of linen when you're going to cover the whole thing up? I would rather use my linen when I'm going to have open, unstitched area. So I'm undecided about what linen I would use as of this point. So I don't know that I can really answer that yet, and I'm kind of stuck with hi Anne. Oh, good. You subscribed 2 days ago. Thank you. Thank you. Dana, can I recommend a floor stand? Well, let me tell you. I have a Lowry that I don't know if you can see it. sits behind me. Which way can I move that you can see it maybe? There it is, my Lowry. Right, right. Oh, 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 oh. There. And that has my daughter's Christmas stocking on it. Sir Frederick Frosty. So I have that. I think what to recommend a stand is, what are you looking for? Do you want a stand to hold a scroll frame and a stand that sits in front of you? How big a scroll frame are you going to use? Pardon me while I have a sip of coffee here. I will tell you that if you're using a larger quantum frame, one from Omnic on the Lowry, you do need that adapter. And depending on how big it is, I can only speak from my experience, it did not work for me. If you're using maybe a roller frame, it's much lighter, so you should be okay. If you want a stand that sits in front of you, the Mark II is a very, very nice stand that sits in front of you. You can, I think, you can get it that it will hold certain widths of scroll bars. But that is a very nice, a very well-made stand. I did not ever have that one. I did have a Monarch for a while, but they're no longer being made. However, I think, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think if you have someone that would build it for you, you can still get the plans for it and have someone build it. That is a very nice stand. It is very adjustable to hold different sizes of scroll bars, whether it be quantums or roller frame or whatever kind of scrolls you want to use. Very much like the Mark II. Personally, the stand I'm using right here now is, let's see if I can get you there, is a Patoki stand. This is the Patoki Mini, and it sits on a table. Let's see if I can do this. There you go. Okay. Sits on a table. I find to set it on my lap, for me, that doesn't work very well. So if I'm going to use this, and I usually use this when I'm making a video or streaming or whatever, it works perfectly fine. It's good. It's great for that. And I may very likely take this along to retreat. The other stand, when I have it over in the living room. The other stand I have that I like, and for now I'm using it in the living room, is a Nurge, Nurge, and it's the sit-on one. So you sit on it and it adjusts, and you can adjust it right up to where you need it. That one I really like. That will only hold hoops. It will not hold a Q-snap. The Patoki stand will hold either a Q-snap or a hoop. Now, that being said, as far as a floor stand is concerned, I have, and I'm so very patiently waiting for a Patoki M4 floor stand. And that is the floor stand that will sit. If you watch Luda, Stitching with Luda, here we go. She has one and she did a video on it, oh, quite some time ago. So it's exactly like what she has. It sits to the side. It has the arm that comes down in front of you. It flips very nicely back and forth. It holds hoops or Q-snaps, and that's the one I'm waiting for. Only things going, they are from Ukraine. Their factory is near Dnipro. So there's a bit of a shipping delay at this point in time. So I'm waiting, trying to be very patient and waiting for my stand to ship. Michael, the last time I spoke with him, told me that it should be shipping soon. He is shipping smaller, the mini stands, and they have been going out of Ukraine and being received by people. So now this is obviously a floor stand, so it's a much bigger piece. So he was waiting until he felt that it was reasonably safe to ship that. So next time he can ship bigger things, my stand will be coming. So I hope so. I hope so. And I do hope that they are all doing okay at this point in time, as well as Luda and any other Ukrainian stitchers that we have in our community, and just everybody in general. Vicky, you use a Millennium frame on a Kay's creation. Oh, okay. And a Millennium and a Quantum frame are very similar. That's great. So that's another stand. Kay's creation, their floor stand is very similar to the Lowry floor stand, from what I understand. And they also have the lap stands, and you can get the adapters for them, I think. I don't know a whole lot about Kay's creations, but that's great. I mean, it really, what stand you get really depends on what you want to do, how you want to stitch, and really what you're looking for. Molly, you stitch in hand and started to have trouble with your left hand when holding fabric. Okay. You have ordered a frame, stand and scroll frame from Embroidery Hoops in Ukraine to try. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just, okay, let me tell you the truth. I think I've had many, many stands over the years. And some I fall in love with and they work great for a while, but then something else comes along and, oh, that may be better. So I had quite a few. Yeah, a lot of people start with just the floor stand that comes from Michael's or Joann's or wherever. Missy, you're right. Some people, yeah, the floor stands that have the arms on that you just lay your scroll frame on, a lot of people like them. Um, let me think. Teresa, if you're still here, is yours not the Needle Needs stand? The one where you can lay it on? Because I think, if I remember right, you have a Needle Needs one. And Patoki also makes one that sits in front of you that has the arms that you can lay your scroll frame on. So that's another option. Now, that being said, just to forewarn, Pitoki stands are not cheap. You're not going to get it for $35, or you're not going to get it for $200. They are expensive. However, they are very, very, very well made. The craftsmanship is outstanding. I didn't mind paying the price for my stand. But again, those are factors that have to filter in as to what you want, how you want to use it, and what you can afford. I mean, okay. My Pitoki stand is costing close to $1,000. Just to put it out there, to say, you know, when I say it's not cheap, it's not cheap. It's not cheap. However, for as much as I stitch, which is a lot, a whole lot, to me, it's worth it. But again, what can you afford? How do you want to use it? What are you going to be stitching with? Are you going to be using hoops, Q-snaps, scroll frames? It's an individual. It's an individual thing. So for me to sit here and say, "Oh yeah, you got to get that stand," I can't. It may work for me, but it might not work for you. Oh, yours is just another thought stand, Teresa. Yeah, she's not doing them anymore. Yeah, very similar to the needle needs. Absolutely. Martina, you like your bike repair stand I got from my husband for Christmas. It's still working fine. Awesome. See? It's whatever works for you. It doesn't, it doesn't have to be an expensive stand. It can be yeah. If I remember right, Martina, didn't your husband put that together somehow for you? Didn't he just make it? Yeah. And yeah. Yeah, and that's right. Yeah. To have it look like a piece of furniture is, I think, awesome. You only stitch in hand though? Um, I wish. I wish I could. I just can't get the tension right. And maybe if I would practice more. Now, Anne, do you do a big piece like this, like the Heaven and Earth designs in hand? Or do you do more samplers and long dogs and country cottage needlework? I mean, other types of stitching rather than full coverage. Lee, Luda is out of Ukraine. Oh my goodness. Awesome. And is okay. She will go back to FlossTube when she feels she can and when she can get back to stitching. Oh, thank you, Lee, for letting us know that. I uh, often think of her. I worried that she was okay. Oh, thank you for updating us on that. That's makes me feel so much better. I'm glad to hear that she is safe. That's awesome. Ah, Martina, he made it and had to shorten it a bit. Oh, that's awesome. I also made one from PVC pipe. It just sits on a sofa. Yeah, and there are those out there. If you search YouTube for PVC cross stitch stands, there's a ton of different videos. Wow. There's a stand you can get, Marina, that sits at the side of your chair and has an arm that swings over to your lap. You can raise and lower it, and you can clip your frame or hoop on it. That's how my Lowry works. Is it the Lowry? It also, Kay's Creations has a stand like that. Aha! You got the vice. Stitchy Dutchy, you have a vice. Do you know what? I tried that too. Um, I have a vice somewhere here, somewhere in this mess. Um, and I used that for a little bit. However, I think I got my fabric a little caught in it, and I put a hole. I put a hole in my fabric. So I kind of said, no, I'm not risking that anymore. So I didn't use it anymore. But yeah, that's another thing. You can put the vise right on your table and stitch that way. Yeah, there's all kinds of things you can do out there. Heavy Q snaps 11 by 17, and you can flip them with one big screw. Oh, yeah. Works. Ah, Marina, yes. I'm thinking it might be the Lowry or the Kay's Creations. Just a thought. And you just finished the Big Red Pond, or the Big Red Ship of Life. Oh, that is a beautiful sampler. 60,000 plus stitches. You did it in black DMC. I only ever cross stitched 2 years, but I'm an advanced embroidery and stitched in hand there too. Awesome. Awesome. No, Heaven and Earth Design's not interested. Well, you know what took me to Heaven and Earth? The fact that my walls are so full of samplers. How many samplers can one person stitch? I know, lots. But I was like not having any place to hang them anymore. So I kind of, then I saw, oh, see, I made a big mistake. The big mistake at looking at Heaven and Earth. And at that time, Stitcher's Retreat was a freebie. And it's so Victorian. And it fits right in with all the samplers that I did. So it was a case of, oh my God, I have to stitch that. And I did. Spent 5 years. Well, no, I lie. The length of time from when I started it to when it was completed is 5 years. However, in there, I took a year where I did not touch it at all, and I stitched the Christmas stockings for my grandkids, which also were not in my video because I will put a picture somewhere in a video of them. But of course, the kids have them. You switch out your pieces. You have a lot of quilt wall hangings that hang on curtain rods with, yeah. I should hang, well, no, I can't. I should hang my quilt that's made up of samplers. because I didn't have place to hang them on the wall, and I had, I don't know, 10 or 12 pieces that were finished but laying in a drawer. And why stitch something and have it just laying in a drawer and not enjoy? So my very, very good friend Barb, her sister-in-law makes memory quilts. So I asked her, could your sister-in-law make these samplers into a quilt? And she said, sure. So all my samplers went out to Illinois and were made into this beautiful, beautiful quilt and came back home. So until I had cats again, it was on the back of my sofa because, well, anybody that watched the Do You Want to See My Walls knows that I really don't have a place to hang it. So yeah, I can still lay it on the back of my sofa. I just have to turn it so that the stitching is not facing out. So the stitching is facing inside. Oh, did you see it on Country Stitcher's Day Treat channel? Yeah. Yeah, I did. I did use it for show and tell there. Yeah. Oh, so yeah, I love it. I just love it. I wish I could show it off more, but yeah. You got Dancing Auroras and Stitcher's Retreat at the same time it started. Yeah. I'm finally going to finish it this year. Good. Teresa, then you can start Stitcher's Retreat. It's an awesome stitch. Autumn, you ordered a Nerge lap stand. Good for you. I think you'll like it. I do like mine. I really do like it. And I use it until my Patoki comes. Then I will use that. The only thing is my cats usually sit on the footrest of my recliner when I'm stitching. But when I use that stand, no, he says, I'm not sitting with you, Mom. I'm not going to do it because your stand takes up all the room and I can't stretch out. Okay, Teresa, you need to go. The girls are kicking up a riot. Have a lovely life. I will do that. And deep breath. Stay relaxed. You'll be fine. I'll send you hugs. No, have a great day. Give those little puppies a hug for me. Yeah, what time is it over there? Oh, yeah, you're probably looking at evening time. Yeah. No, have a great evening. I will talk to you soon. Okay. You finished several cross stitching into small quilts. Yeah, it's, you know what? There's many other things you can do with your cross stitch other than frame it and hang it on a wall. You need to give a little love to Once Upon a Fairy Tale and Farewell to Anger before I... Oh, yes. Yeah. Supersize max color Once Upon a Fairy Tale. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's gorgeous though. Oh my goodness. It's absolutely beautiful. Did you see the new one? What's it called? The new shelf one, something about a library. Oh, what the world is it called? I just looked it up last night because I wanted to see it. They're both supersized Mexico. Oh, Teresa. Grand Library. That's it. Oh my goodness. That's gorgeous too. Oh my God. I look at that and think, oh man, awesome. It's awesome. Could I live long enough to stitch it? Oh my God. Yeah, it's beautiful. This one, this fractal is, well, big enough. It's 625 by 625. So it's basically on this 20 count almost a yard square of fabric. I think it is a yard square of fabric. So there's a lot of stitching to do here, but that Once Upon a Fairy, oh, that, yes. Autumn, no need to be afraid. But yeah, once you go down that rabbit hole, yeah, you get hooked. Yeah, that's what happened to me. That's what happened to me, and that's another reason that I really enjoy full coverage. And not that I don't enjoy the samplers, I do. However, I stitching wise, I like stitching full coverage better. I, I, I don't know why. I can't explain it. I just enjoy it more. Autumn, now you want to get the stitching shelf. Stick around here. We will be sure to enable you. We will be sure to help you pick something out so that you can start it. Oh, Scarlet Stitcher, y'all are making me want to add more stuff to my wish list. Wish lists are dangerous. Yes, they are very dangerous. Because then it's much easier to find and add to the cart when the sales happen. Yeah, it is. And you know what? Sometimes this clicky finger gets the best of people. I know it does me. Only if your wish, don't do it, Teresa. Only if your wish list is closed. Yeah, it's it's those you used to do only one project at a time. Now you think you have 10 starts. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. You want to stitch it all. Julia, you're doing the supersize max color stitching shelf. Oh my God. Oh well, if you have that little control there, Linda. If you have to ask ask hubby first. He doesn't let you get out of hand, huh? No. Yeah, I just no. My finger gets the best of me. Oh, yeah. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. I also have the Grand Library is rather inviting. Anne, you read an article about a young woman who's discovered needlepoint and said she was glad to have a hobby as expensive as her husband's golf. I love it. That's awesome. True. Awesome. Oh my goodness. You started The Sleeping Princess, Autumn, and it's 999 by 802. Oh my lands. Oh my. Ah, The Grand Library is enticing. I've never stitched one of Amy Stewart's her shelves. I haven't done one. Vicky, your daughter made the big mistake of asking what you wanted for Mother's Day. Oh my. Yeah, I have the Bountiful bookshelf, and I picked that one because again, my daughter is such an avid reader, and you know, this sounds a little strange, I guess, but I try and pick pieces anymore that I have a reasonable idea that she will keep someday, instead of having all my stuff end up at the Goodwill or wherever. But I started it once or twice and never really got very far. But that Grand Library looks rather enticing. Oh, shoot. I wonder if, see, now that's the thing. What do you guys think? The autumn, it may take you 10 years. It may take me more than 10 years. What do you think about that Grand Library, how it would be as a mini? Because for me, that would be way more doable than something bigger. And that being said, what about a mini Max Color? Or would that be outlandish? Do I work from a master set of DMC or kit each project? I have a master set of DMC. That would be here, let me get rid of this. That would be what you see. Okay, how do I point? There. It's those, and the two bottom drawers are all my DMC. It's hard to know which way to point your finger when you're looking at it backwards. But yeah, that's all my DMC. So when I'm working on something, and like if I want to take it somewhere, I pull like a little bit of each color, of a color or a couple colors that I'm going to need. Oh, phooey. Here we go. There we go. And work that way. Jen, I lose too much detail unless I tried Max Colors. That's what I was thinking. A mini Max Color. But then would the confetti be outrageously outrageous? Well, you could recognize which shelf of Amy it is, but not the details. Yeah. See, that's what I'd be afraid of with a mini. But I'm thinking, do you see the smoke coming from my ears? I'm thinking. But I don't know that she made any quick stitches out of that one yet. But maybe just, yeah, take parts of it. Do the regular, please. Oh, Martina, you are such an instigator. Autumn, you're doing about 100 stitches a day on Sleeping Princess, but you're trying to finish a Prairie Schooler and a Plum Street, so you have your hands full. Yeah, I guess you do have your hands full. Oh, Martina, you're something. Love you all. Oh, many Four Seasons, and you were disappointed in the detail loss. See, that's what I'm afraid of. I, mm, I have several that I have gotten minis of instead of, thinking, okay, just I had them. I didn't just go recently buy them. I've had them, but thinking, oh, because I've switched my count of fabric to keep them from getting so huge to do the minis. But then, yeah, like you said, Jen, you lose the detail, and it's the detail. It's the detail that makes the picture, is it not? It's I don't want something that's going to look like totally pixelated and um yeah, okay, I'm going to butcher your name. Is it Margaride? Salsa? You think Quick Stitch would be nice. There are some parts of the Grand Library that you don't like as much as others. Yeah. And the regular on 20 count 1/1, or another smaller count with 2 threads. Yeah. Missy, fabric for pandemic. Oh, there you go. There you go. Yeah. Amy Stewart's are so, so, so detailed. Yeah. That's and they're so big. So, so big. Um yeah, I could spend the rest of my life on Grand Library, couldn't I? I might have to think about it though. Either that or go back to doing Bountiful Bookshelf. When your eyes are tired, you work on 16 count Ada. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's as much as what's happening to me that um as much the reason that my vision gets blurry as as anything else, because even with the magnification, when I have been stitching all day, my eyes are tired, and when my eyes are tired, the blurriness is worse. Yeah, Martina, it would be really big. However, look at how I have this all all gathered up. Because this one, like I said, it's a yard. Just joined. What are you stitching on? I am stitching on Fractal that you see up here in the upper corner. which is a heaven and earth design. Here, I'll make it a little bigger. There you go. Cover my head. And I'm stitching it on 20 count Aida. And welcome, Jill, for joining. Thank you for stopping by. It's wonderful. I have a project for any occasion and circumstances. Do you know what? That's probably the best way to go. Here's my dilemma. I get hooked on something that I want to work on and work on and work on and work on and work on until I get tired of it. Then I may switch to something else. Until something else yells at me, like, will you please pick me up and stitch on me a little bit? Yeah, that's just kind of the way I roll. It's like I kind of get selectively. What did or Stitch Roadies call it? Oh, Deb and Liz sent you over another one of Deb and Liz fans. They're great, aren't they? They are absolutely great. Yeah, I just lost my train of thought. Oh, my lands. What you see is what you get, people. I am what I am. Oh, thank you, Autumn. Oh, that is so very kind of you. Thank you so much. Next project will be on a smaller count too, so it will not be as detailed one as Amy. Yeah. Oh, awesome. Yeah. And you're a quilter and an embroiderer. Yeah, we get hooked. Get hooked. And I stick with something until it. Okay, that's what I was saying. Stitch Roadies. What does she call it? She is a obsessive monogamy. She obsesses on something for a while until something else, then she obsesses on that one for a while. Oh, Autumn, that's too kind. Too very, very kind. And thank you. I try. I try to keep you entertained, and I try to give you tips and tricks that I've learned over the years, and hopefully they help somebody else. Isn't that what this is all about? Isn't that what FlossTube is all about? You know, I see, here goes this soapbox again, and you guys can just tell me, shut up, Karen. Stop it. But I think we need to encourage and take younger stitchers under our wings and teach them the things that we've learned. Whether they use them or not is up to them. But just know that they have options of how to do things. Obsessive monogamous, that's it. Oh, she's the reason you're a cross stitcher. Quilt Road, isn't she a sweetheart? I really enjoy her videos. They are so good. They are so good. And it's like she's sitting there talking to you and thinking, and it's just wonderful. It's just wonderful. Yeah, but like I was saying, I think my purpose here is to be supportive and to encourage and to help people through something that maybe they don't know how to do. I don't know it all. But I do have some tricks up my sleeve since I've been stitching for so very long. yeah, so that's, that's what I think this community needs to embrace, is being there, being there to help each other. And that's what I try to do. Oh, oh, Autumn. Yeah, it made me sad too. It really did. Well, you could probably all tell that from my video, but I have, just to reassure all of you, I have come to terms with that, and I'm perfectly okay with my decision. I'm fine with it. It's, you know what, it is what it is, and it will be what it will be. And as long as I don't have to give up, um, as long as I don't have to give up my stitching, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. Just that. I gave you the courage, Missy, to start ahead. Well, good. Good. I hope so, because they're fun. They're fun. And now I'm talking myself. Look at that. I am talking myself into something. You guys are not even enabling me. I'm talking myself into it. I might even talk myself into restarting the bookshelf again, or the bountiful bookshelf again, since I already have that one. You learn there's one, there's place for another. Oh. I can't. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Margardia Salsa. My videos are often your company. Oh, well, you know what? Everybody needs a stitching buddy. So if listening to me ramble on about nothing helps you to sit and stitch, that's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. I've been told. Margarita. Okay. I got it. That one I can do. No, my daughter does not cross stitch. No. That, oh my goodness, here I am rambling about everything else and not saying something that is very important that I wanted to say here. Been through the story of, yes, I got rid of some fabric and I rehomed some projects, which they are all out in the mail. And if you guys have not seen the video yet of the thank you and the friendship project, I will just go over it a little bit here. One of my viewers, and her name is Susan Pitcher, presented the idea of finishing Pandemic for me and having it finish as a round robin. Pretty much a round robin. I have already sent the project off to her along with a cone of the thread to finish it. So, the deal is, any of you that would be interested in stitching on that project, to send me an email. I'm going to just go to my one screen here. Let me do this. There we go. To send me an email. Let me put my email address up here. There we go. At this email address. And I will forward it to Susan. And she is organizing a, look at me, I'm moving my stitching out of the way because it's getting annoying sitting in front of me. She's organizing a stitch with me, or not stitch with me. What am I saying? She's organizing a round robin. Ooh, 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 turn that light down. Ooh, ooh, oh, that's too dark. There we go. If you are from overseas, if you are not in the United States, there, let's do that. Please, you can send your name in anyway. Initially, I had said people in the United States because of postage. However, Susan and I talked about it and decided that people from overseas can also participate, because I would hate to disclude anyone that is interested in helping out with this. I don't want to disclude people if at all possible. So it would circulate here in the States first. Then and she will have the group talk about or look at, do they want to accept the fact that the postage may be a little pricey to go over to Europe or wherever. And if everybody is agreeable to doing that, then people in across the pond will be included. It's, Debbie, it's finishing my pandemic. Long Dog Sampler's pandemic. The other thing is, if you don't have the chart, that is okay. The chart arrangements have been made for you to have the chart of what you would be stitching. For myself, I would also ask that anybody that stitches on it, somewhere on the sampler, either include your initials or some kind of little motif, or a motif and your initials, to say that, hey, I was part of this project. So we are opening it up for overseas people to also participate, because, hey, you guys, even though you're across the pond, are some of my most faithful viewers. Mirren, I'm assuming that it would have to be sent with tracking. Susan has some experience in coordinating things like this, and she will be, to the best of my knowledge, when we talked, she will be contacting anybody that has already sent me their email, because I have forwarded them to her. She's coordinating a welcome letter. She'll let you know about access to the chart, or how we would handle the chart for those who do not have who don't have the chart, and she'll give you the details. She'll also come up with the order of stitching. Yeah, she's been absolutely terrific. And Susan, I thank you but you already know that. I thank you so much for suggesting this and for volunteering. It brought a couple tears, to tell you the truth, to know that people would be willing to finish this. I was touched, so very touched. So feel free to send me that email. and I will get you in, or I will forward it to Susan, and she will give you all the details. And it's DMC. It's DMC B5200. So, and it's on Victorian red fabric. So, yeah. There we go. Yeah. So, I mean, it's not a fabric that is I mean, it's not a thread that's difficult to use. It's just the standard DMC B5200. Can I learn to cross stitch diagonally with you? I'm doing my first head reading. Thank you so much for being such a good teacher. I don't miss a video. Oh, Carla. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I am so glad. It's 25 count Lugana, Debbie. Mirren, see, you're in my same boat. My same boat. Yeah, 25 count Lugana. Your eyes aren't good enough either. Yeah. Yeah, I'm preaching to the choir here. Preaching to the choir. But Carla, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. You know, I hope my diagonal videos have helped people. It seemed like there was a bit of a boom in diagonal stitching after I posted those videos, or at least that's what it felt like. I'm sure people were doing that long before I put videos up. And you know, I think I told you the story of how that all started. Drink my coffee before it's getting cold. I watched Blitz Stitch Brian on his diagonal stitching videos, which are very good videos also. But he stitches his rows vertically, where I stitch horizontally. And I could not grasp what he was doing. So I took his technique and revised it a bit and came up with my own, and then that's what I posted. In fact, that's how this no, that's not exactly how the channel started, but that's one of the ways that this channel really started was through those videos. And I got such positive response of how to stitch on the diagonal, and people were, oh my goodness, it finally makes sense. And you know, it was just an overwhelming, heartwarming experience that we just kept it going. And those videos are still up to this day, and they will always stay up there. So I think that may have been part of the boom in diagonal stitching. And you know what? The best thing is to take a little bit from all the videos that you see, because there are lots of people out there that are doing it now. You know, there's Blitz Stitches, there's mine, there's Thread the Needle, does it her way. Those are the ones that I can think of that come to mind first. And each of us do it a little bit differently. But by the same token, if you take something from each one and make it your own, you know, those that stitch row by row, there's those that color complete within a diagonal, there's those that do blocks down the diagonal, there's those that do full pages on the I mean, adapt it to what works for you. There's no right way, there's no wrong way, there's only the way that you make it. Well, Stitch with Me Daily, thank you for stopping by. I'm so glad you're here and that you were able to catch me live. I just watched your video, I think, yesterday. Yeah. Mirren, you were sent to me to learn diagonal stitching when you saw someone in the head stitching that way. Well, good. I am glad you're hooked. That's the deal. That's the deal, to get you hooked on something. Yeah, works. Works. Yeah, adapt it. Adapt it. See, and that's um oh, Linda, have a great day. Have a great day. Have fun at the lake. Benefits of stitching on the diagonal are, I used to say you don't get diagonal lines. And for the most part, I don't think that you do. However, on my Stitcher's retreat, I could see very faint diagonal lines. Very faint. And my framer was able to pull them out, and they are really not noticeable at this once it's framed. So that was the biggest advantage. The other advantage is, depending on which style that you stitch, especially if you go row by row, you don't have ninja stitches to go back and fill in, because you're completing all your stitches as you go, and if you're doing line by line and parking, you're completing all your stitches as you go, and you're parking in the next occurrence of that color or that symbol. So you don't have to go back and find all those little stitches that you missed and fill them in. I think it makes your stitching look a lot neater. Because especially if you're doing row by row, you're always, even if you're working bottom up, but you're always coming up in a hole that either has no thread in it or only has one thread in it. And you're going down in the holes that have already two threads in them. So in essence, what's happening is, you know how if you have to go back and you fill in a ninja stitch and it's already surrounded. Okay, so it's this one isolated stitch in the midst of all this stitching. All your holes already have 3 threads in them. Okay, so the potential of when you're coming up one of those holes is to pull, the potential is there to loosen that stitch that's aside, because depending on if your needle catches that thread of another stitch, you could be pulling that stitch loose. So with diagonal stitching and stitching row by row, you're avoiding that whole scenario. And that's what Brian of Blitz Stitch is doing. Even though he stitches his rows vertically, he's always coming up from an empty hole down into his previously stitched stitches. So the trick is to only put your needle down in holes that have stitches already in them. The other person, Gemma, is it Gemma Stitches? Is that what she does? A lot of videos, and she does she may even have multiple threads of the same color. Her videos are a rather unique way of stitching on the diagonal. So she would be another one to go watch. And I don't think she does her videos live, but I think she does post pretty regular Stitch with Me. And she's always explaining what she's doing when she's stitching. And she has some very good videos out there that explain it. You do a 10 or so stitch row diagonally with parking. It's a lot neater. You haven't got lines. You don't get lost. That is another very helpful thing. You can put that piece down and go back to it 6 months later and know exactly where you are. You don't have to figure anything out. You don't have to figure, oh, where am I? What color is this? What hole is this? What? No, it's easy. Well, Deb, I'm glad that makes sense. Yeah. Jill, it's exactly right. That's exactly how you remember it. Go down in the dirty holes, up in the clean ones. Easiest way to remember. Just put that little mantra in your head. I'm always coming up in a clean hole. And a clean hole is one that has 0 or 1 thread in it. No more than that. The dirty holes have 2 or 3 threads in them, and yours is either the 3rd or the 4th. So because you don't want to pull that thread back out, it makes your stitching a lot neater. Debbie, well, you have an awesome day also. And thank you so very much for stopping by. I'm glad you were here. It's been fun. It's been fun. Enjoy your day. Yeah, so that is the main reasons that we stitch on the diagonal. But yeah. But anyway, back to the friendship project. If you are interested, it doesn't matter where you live. Susan will coordinate all of that, and she will oh, too bright, too bright, too bright. Turn it down, turn it down. Am I going the wrong way? No, what way am I going? Okay, this light is awesome. However, one of these days I will learn how to use it all properly. Let's go this way. I'll put it down on my stitching and not so much on my face. Yeah. So, yeah, send the email to me and I will forward it to her, and we will get everybody that wants to be included, and I can't thank you all enough. Touched my heart. Oh, Ghislaine, are you leaving too? Okay. You have a great weekend also. And it is always my pleasure. How long have we been on here? Almost 2 hours. Where does the time go? I think I will stitch a little bit more. Someone asked me how I start and end threads, and I am about to do that. So let me just get over here just a wee little bit more. I saw this course, and it was called Tidy Backs. And just because I myself always want to learn something new, or new to me anyway, and when you flip your work over from what she's teaching, on the back, all your lines on the back are straight up and down. There's no part of your stitching. Oh, there's no picture of my stitch. Oh, good Lord. Oh, why do I have a FedEx truck out front? Maybe they're not here for me. Oh, look at that. Look what I did. Can you see out my window? Do you want to see? Oh, my kitties aren't there. Okay, let's get you back down here to my stitching. Oh my God. Oh, technical issues. Do I not always? Oh, phooey. Here we go. There we go. Now I got you back. Um, so I started going through this course, and yeah, everything on the back is straight up and down lines, which is wonderful, except I don't know how to make that work on a heaven and earth design because of so many, many, many colors. So, but I did pick up their way of starting and stopping. What I started doing, and I don't think you can really tell on this piece where I ended, but I ended on the front. What I have started doing is coming up in the middle. Let me see if I can get you down a little bit closer. Oops. Okay. Till I get a camera right. Okay. There we go. Down, 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 down. Okay. So what I did is I came up like in between that X. Like here's the one leg, here's the other leg, and I came up in the middle. And see if I can do it this way. Normally I turn it a little bit. But what I'm going to do is go under this X and this X and the third X on top of my work like that. Okay, can you see that? What if I give you my magnifier? Okay, I hope I'm not making you all sick. Or did I go the wrong way? Ah. There. Oh, no, wait, get that out of the way. There. Do you see how I went under 3 stitches and pull it through? And now I will just clip it off close. And you can't tell. Well, hello, Storm Song. Welcome. Welcome. Glad you're joining us today. So that's how I've been ending, which means I don't have to flip over because I don't like to flip over. Okay. So then, oh, let's get rid of this. Oh, it's getting annoying. Okay. Let's move this picture. Put you down there. Here we go. So then to start, okay, here I'm going to show you, if those of you who haven't seen my little needle threading thing, I lay my thread over my finger, okay, and hold it with my thumb and middle finger. Take your needle, lay it on top of your thread, Okay, I let go and I just, okay, if it doesn't work, turn your needle over and just, why am I not able to do it today? There we go. And just push. And you pop a little loop up and then you pull it. So let me try it again. All right, I think I was holding something too tight. So I just lay it that way and just push till you have a little loop pop up and then you just pull it through. Takes practice. You don't always get it on the first go. So then to start, what I've been doing is I go down through my fabric really close to that previous stitch. Okay. I'm coming up like in between these two stitches. I'm going to put these little mag eyes on, guys. Okay, so I can look like a silly person. Okay. And I pull it. And then I go down. In the middle of the stitch, I'm going to be completing. Okay. And I pull this. And don't catch the tail because then that gets in your way. But I pull this through till that tail is just about hidden. Then I complete my stitch like I normally do. Come up there, go down there. Now I did skip a stitch just for the sake, so I had place to do all that. And it hides it completely. And see that it doesn't come out. Now, this was not my idea. This was something I learned, but something that is worthy of a share. You feel like you should pay me a class. No, Ann, I do this. I don't. I do this just because I do this, and it's fun. It makes my day. It brings me joy. Okay, and then if I end up with a little bit of a tail showing, then I'll use a snag nabbit and pull it down through. But yeah, then I just keep going. And then I get on the wrong side of the stitch. There we go. Yeah, just keep going, and you never know. You cannot tell, at least if you look really, really, really close. You can tell where I ended. But again, is this a piece that you're going to be looking at with your nose right up against it like I am when I'm stitching? Probably not. Are you ever going to see it from a distance? Probably not. But what it does, and let me flip this over for you. See if I can wrangle everything around here. Wait, I have to go up a little bit here. Hold on. Frame's a little bit too big to flip. So let's do this. And now we can flip it over. Look what it does to your back. There. I've only been using it up here. This part was done, this part below here was done before. So I've been using this new way just up here. Now granted, this is all black. So it's all one color. So it's going to look perfectly wonderful on the back. But you don't have all those little tails from your starts hanging out back here. And you don't see, like down here, granted, it's the back. And granted, it doesn't look terrible. But, oh, here I was trying a different technique. Here I was trying that doing a continental stitch over and then crossing it on the way back. See, you can tell what I do by the back. Here I was going across the row and coming back and not crossing each X as I go. And I did that over here also. And a little bit up here because I forgot what I was doing. See? And here. But up here, you can dramatically see a difference in how your back looks. Now, how this is going to work out when I get into all that color and confetti, I can't answer that question yet because I didn't get that far. But we will see. We will see. So let's flip back here. Have I ever, hold on, entered any of your pieces in a show? Yes, I have. I have entered my work into Woodlawn. If you've never heard of Woodlawn, it is outside of Washington, D.C. I want to say it was the niece, it was the plantation that the niece of George Washington, and I hope I got that right, I could be wrong, lived there. And she was an avid needleworker. And Nellie's Needlers, which is the local Embroiderers Guild of America chapter, holds a competition there every year. In fact, it was just held the month of March. It is it is the most prestigious needlework show here on the East Coast. And to win something there is a very honorable accomplishment. So there were 2 separate years that I entered. The first year I entered my grandson and granddaughter's birth samplers. And do I have pictures of it? Let me see. Let me look in my photos. Oh my goodness. See if I can find them. They're probably way, way back here on my photos. But my grandson's birth sampler took a second place in the samplers. And what I did was, it was a pattern by Historic Stiekmeister, or however you say that. I can never pronounce it. but it was one of their uh, I believe it was a German band sampler. And what I did is adapted it for a birth sampler. Oh, good Lord. I have to go way far back here. I'll find it. Hang in there. Shouldn't be too much further. So I adapted it for a birth sampler, and that took a second place. And then the next year, I didn't think I was going to enter anything. But my friend Barb, she talked me into entering something. So I said, well, I just don't know what I want to enter. Oh, good Lord, where are these pictures? That's what happens when you got a bazillion pictures on your phone. Good heavens. So I said to her, I don't know what I want to enter. Just pick something off my wall. Which she did. And she picked Do Bears by Long Dog Samplers. Oh my God, where is it here? So I entered that, and I entered a piece of Hardanger, my Hardanger doily that I had done, quite a few years ago, because it didn't have to be something done within that year. It could be anything that was never entered before. So neither of those pieces were entered before, and my my doily took a second place, and my Do Bears took a first place. Oh my heavens, why can I not find this? Oh, that's not it. Ah, here we go. All right. Oh, that's not a very good one. Hold on a second again. Okay, I guess I have to do that one. Okay. All right. This isn't the greatest picture in the world, but let me turn this off so that... Oh, darkness. Hold on. Oh, you probably go, oh, this woman, she's crazy. There we go. Okay. Pardon the ceiling light. All right. This is my grandson's sampler. Okay. So it starts there. And here on the side is his name, his birth date, and I think what he weighed. And then it has his mom and dad and their wedding date and their birthdays. And then it lists all the grandparents, both sets of grandparents, their birthdays, and the day they got married. That my daughter's in-laws got married and when we got married. So that is Abram's birth sampler. So that took a second place at Woodlawn. Now, this one did not win anything. However, oh, look, you got to see my picture as a kid. This one is my daughter's, not daughter's, but my granddaughter's birth sampler. And I took two samplers and put them together And then the same information is on there of her name and then her parents and her brother and all the grandparents. So that's that one. And then, oh, here, for those that haven't seen, this is my quilt that has all the samplers on it. Okay. And then I'll put better pictures in of this. Oh, here it is. And then this is Do Bears. And this is a long dog sampler. It's stitched on 28 count over 1 with DMC 500 maybe? Don't remember. But this took a first place at Woodlawn. So, yes, I have some ribbons and I did enter some shows. And this show at Woodlawn is judged by certified judges of the Embroiderers Guild of America. So, I mean, anybody could enter it. It's not limited. It's not juried where you have to pass an inspection before you enter. It is open to anyone. And then it is judged by EGA judges once it's in there. So the show is always in March. So it's the end of February, all the entries have to be in, and then the judges come in and they evaluate everything, and then the show, yeah, that's done like the end of February, so that when the show opens in March, things are already judged and your ribbons are already awarded, and there's many ribbons that are given out. There's best of show, there's, I don't even remember them all, but I was just happy with my ones that I won while I was there. But it is an honor to win at Woodlawn. It's, like I said, it's a very prestigious show here on the East Coast. And one of those shows, if you say, ooh, I won at Woodlawn, it's, oh my God, you won at Woodlawn. Oh. What is the best needle to buy? I think needles are a personal preference also. For myself, because I tend to tarnish needles, I buy bohin needles. However, that being said, I also buy, and I bought them from Polka Dot Stitchery before she closed. I like the ballpoint needles. The ones with the little ball on the end that Sullivan's now puts out. I like those, and I like those especially if you're doing like a heaven and earth design and you're going to stitch cross country within the diagonal, because I think my stitching is just as neat using those as it is working line by line, because that little ball doesn't pierce any fabric threads or any threads of your existing floss. So I do like those also. So I usually use either a bowhin or the Easy Guide needle, which I was able, fortunately, to buy them bulk as opposed to having to only buy two at a time now, since Sullivan's is, I think they pretty much cornered the market on them. Oh, and that would be awesome if you would be accepted into a quilt show that's juried. Yeah, yeah, that would be terrific. Absolutely terrific. Yes, John James are good too. I think needles are a personal. I think needles are a personal choice. Um, a lot of people like peacemakers. I know Brenda, Handwork Maniac, her favorite ones are peacemakers. Some people prefer John James. Hi, Jackie. And stitching with DE and AN. I don't know that I've seen you guys here before, but thank you for joining. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think you experiment. Like I said, I tend to tarnish a needle because of the acidity in my skin. There are some needles that I was changing. I was changing like every couple days. Um, because it was tarnished. Bowhins don't do that. Oh, Jackie, you have a problem with bowhin that cut the thread in the middle, in the needle eye. Um, are you using the correct size needle? That would be my first. Yes, sometimes the eyes on needles, no matter what brand you're using, can be a bit rough. But sometimes if you're using a needle that is too small, that does not open the eye enough for your thread to pass freely without a lot of friction, but yet not so much that expands the hole. It isn't really the needle or the eye of the needle that is causing it to fray. It's the friction between the thread and the fabric that's causing it to fray. So if you're using the wrong size needle, that will happen. Personally, and again, I'm only speaking for myself. I am not, everybody has to find their own way. I do not use a 28 count, a size 28 needle hardly ever, unless I am stitching on, and I will no longer do that. But if I was stitching on a very fine count fabric, like if I was stitching on 36 count over 1, which I can't do anymore, but if that were to be the case, then yes, I would probably use a 28 needle. But for the most part, size 26 needles are my go-to. That's what I'm using right now, and I am using a 28 count bowhin at this point. Now, the other thing that you can take note of to know if you're using the correct size needle, if you're pulling your needle through the fabric and your thread is making a loud a loud sound as it comes through the fabric, then your needle is probably too small. You might need a bigger, you might have to go to the next size. And I know that sound can be very conducive and relaxing and what have you, but you also got to think about what is the wear that it's causing on my thread. The other thing you want to make sure you do is don't always have your needle at the same spot on your thread. You want to make sure that you're moving it along, because if you keep it at the same spot, it's going to cause wear and it's going to fray on you. So make sure you move your needle up the length. If you're stitching with a very long length of thread, and again, that's also a personal thing. I'm not saying there's anything right or wrong about that. I'm just saying if you do that, make sure that you move the needle along the length of that thread so that you aren't always rubbing, for lack of a better way to say it, but so that it isn't always rubbing along that same point in the thread, which again can cause it to fray. So besides the fact that you just may have a needle that has a rough eye, and that's not impossible either, there are other factors that can affect whether your thread frays or not. So it's just, tuning into some of those other things to say, is that affecting why my thread is fraying? This one's making a little bit of a drag when I pull my thread through. However, my thread is not fraying. I don't see, oops, I didn't see any wear at the needle. So I'm going to say that little bit of drag is okay because I am moving the needle along that length of thread. So so just little things that to be aware of. I actually think today I got more stitches done than any other live that I have done. So where is that Jody? She's usually here and she didn't make it today. And she's usually keeping me on track. Yeah, Jackie. So I would say 18 count, you're using a 26. Check out some of those other things I just mentioned or up it to a 24. It just could be a simple matter of that hole isn't open quite far. Now, you don't want to open it so far that it's this big gapy hole, but you do want to open it enough so that the thread can slide through without friction, a lot of friction. Yes, Anne, you're right. You're absolutely right. Juried means that you have to meet their criteria before they would accept it into the show. Nordic Needle, which was very well known for their hardanger and all their hardanger supplies, and they had a competition every year, and that's how they made their hardanger books. It's like the people that made it into their competition were then featured in the pattern book that came out that year. And that was exactly what they did. They were juried to the point that you had to send a picture of the piece that you were going to submit prior to actually sending the piece. And then they would get back to you and say, yes, we want it, or no, we don't want it. Yeah, I tried that one year and I didn't make it. But that's okay. It's, what? It is what it is. And and we all try to do the best that we can. And yeah, I was okay with that. I tried. I tried. I know. Um, that's a good question, Mirren. I think when I buy them, I try to keep them separated and not mix them all up. Um, but I do think on 123 Stitch, I think you can purchase a card that has pictures of the needle on each size needle on, and you would just have to lay your needle against that and compare the sizes. To just look at it, yeah, I can't always tell the size just by looking at it. Uh, I can usually tell a 28 because they're teeny and the eye is pretty small. Um, 22s, that's kind of obvious because those are really big. But yeah, there is a yeah, a card or on 123 Stitch, I believe that you could compare your needle size with. Let me see. Needle gauge. Oh, that's sewing machine needles. If I find it, I will include it in the drop down box with this video. I'm not seeing it as I flip through here rather quickly, but I'm pretty sure that there is something, and then you can just lay your needle on it and um, I'll find it and include it. Okay. Norma, hello. How are you today? You noticed, oh, you just noticed I was live. Oh, yeah. Wow, 2.5 hours. Wow. Wowzers. Um, do I find it difficult to stitch with solid black color on such a large portion of your design? Actually, no, I don't. Actually, there are times that is exactly what I need to do is some just mindless stitching. And this is a good project to do that on right now. Now, once I get to the all the colors, it might not be so mindless, but for right now, all this black is rather mindless. And it is good for some of the stitching groups, or one of the stitching groups that I'm in, where you have to count your stitches and get a lot done. Yeah, it makes you get a lot. It helps you get a lot done in a short period of time because it's all one color, and that goes pretty fast. Uh, yeah, you might be able to find one at a craft shop. I can't tell you where I saw it, but I am almost sure I saw one someplace that um, helps you to size your needles. Oh, the best of show at that quilt show has to give up their quilt to go into the museum. Oh my goodness. I mean, that would be very honorable, but I don't know that I want to give up my quilt. mind me asking what group? Okay, you lost me, Candy. I don't. I forgot what I was saying that I may have mentioned a group. So ask me again, please. Oh. Oh, that counts my stitches. Okay, I'm in Survival of the Stitchiest, um, that Facebook group, and you have many challenges where you have to stitch for daily supplies, and you stitch to add on to your settlement, and you go on hunts for monsters and all these kinds of things. And um, you have to count your stitches. Like there's a hunt going on this weekend, and it takes 6,000 stitches to get whatever it is you're hunting. And then, you every set of 6,000 is another one of the creatures that you capture and what have you. So I mean, it's fun. It's interesting. It's fun. Um, so when I'm stitching something that's a solid color like this, it goes fast, and I can stitch, and you stitch it rather quickly and can get a large number of stitches. So yeah, I don't mind stitching nothing but black because it's mindless, except when I get down here to these couple few stitches that are of all colors, $9.39, and you can't even tell that you stitched them in there. Yes, Yvonne, you're right. Grand prize, $40,000. I suppose you could reject the prize money. Oh, the grand prize for the quilt? Holy smokes. Geez, Woodlawn, all you get is a ribbon. Mirren, it's collectively. So all the members of our settlement stitched together. So it's not just one person. Each person doesn't have to stitch 6,000 stitches. It's whatever the group as a whole stitches. So yeah, it's not as terrible as it seems. Candy, you thought you were in all the challenge groups. I'm in what's the other one? Full Coverage Fanatics? But heck, I forget about that one half the time. I don't think I've posted in there in forever, so I really should get back to that. Cuz I've had Yeah, Mirren, it's over the weekend. Just that one particular hunt is over the weekend. Then the rest of the week we stitch for supplies or to add on to the settlement or stuff like that. Candy, you're in. Okay. Well, thank you, Vicky. I'm glad you enjoyed. And we do these. I'm going to try and do these live chats once a week. It might not always be on the weekend, um, but holy cow. Sometimes they'll be during the day, during the week. Sometimes they might be in the evening during the week. It's like I kind of do whatever the mood strikes me for. But I did want to do this one today so that I could just fill everybody in on my issue of not being able to see the finer counts very well anymore. And the friendship project. So again, if any of you are interested in that, just shoot me that email and I will forward it to Susan, and she's going to get the thing rolling. How do we find out when? Oh, I will post it. I will, like I did for today's, I will put a notice up a day or two ahead of time. Either that or I'll put a message where I'll send out a message. So I think for today, though, since we're going on 3 hours and my belly's kind of getting hungry, I think we're going to call today a wrap. What do you think? Hold on here a second. Let's switch back. There we go. Oh, let's take these googly eyes off. Okay. If I post a message, and it will be on the community tab and it will show up on your feed. So you'll see it on your YouTube feed. Like when you flip through to see what videos. Yeah, and that's the thing. And that's why I try to mirror, and that's why I try to vary them a little bit, because the time zone issues. Yeah, sometimes I catch more people here in the States. Sometimes. No, Ann, it's not on Facebook. It's on your YouTube feed. Like when you go on your phone on YouTube and you're flipping through and you see what videos come up, like the recommended and whatever, it should be on there. Okay. Chris Cross-Stitch will often put a message on there when he's not going to put a video up, and it comes through where he'll send out a message to everybody that is that's a subscriber. So as long as you're a subscriber, you should see that notification come through. So I will put it there, but mainly I'll post it a day or so ahead on YouTube, like I did this one, and hopefully it will work correctly the next time. I don't know why I have trouble with it. Some things, technology-wise, just don't like me, and that might just be one of them. So I will post it, but be ready to, I might have to stop that video and restart another. I have my frame on a Patoki mini table stand. This one. Okay. Oh, and I'm so glad. I'm so glad. That's the object of the game. Have fun. Learn something new, because we can always learn something new every day. Every day. So I'm glad you all stopped by. So with this, my dear friends, I think I have to say goodbye for today. And I just want to say thank you all for everything, for hanging out with me, for participating, if you choose to, in the friendship project. For allowing me into your home. Yeah, for subscribing and all the wonderful, I was overwhelmed by all the absolutely wonderful comments I have gotten from all of you. It's been fantastic, and it just so warms my heart. And what can I say? So I wish all of you a very, very good weekend, and love to each and every one of you. And I will see you next time. Where is my... I can't find it. See that? I'm going to say, see you next time. And I'm going to put my end screen on, and then I can't find it. So I'm just going to say, I will catch you all in the next live. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Thank you for everything, and thank you for all your love and support. And bye for now. See you in my next video.